Hey, my wonderful, wonderful, beautiful people, a pleasant afternoon to you. If you have not yet made Jesus Christ your personal Lord and Savior, please feel free to do so. He's the best being ever. Certainly that would be the best decision you could ever make. All right, let me tell you something. There are a lot of myths that have gone around for years, and it has affected women. You know, sometimes men will see single women, even women will make comments about it, who are beautiful, who are brilliant, very, yes, very transcendent and, splendiferous in their personality. You know, they really are beautiful people, but sometimes it gets hidden because of a myth that goes around. And I think it's a misunderstanding, not really only a misunderstanding, but a misquotation of what the book in Proverbs 31 talks about. It says, charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. But what has happened is that people have read it this way. Beauty is deceptive and charm is fleeting. So charm is not necessarily synonymous or indicative of beauty, because you can have somebody who is quite charming but not necessarily handsome for the man, that is, or beautiful physically, aesthetically for the woman. And what has happened is that quite a number of men and women have gone around believing that women who are beautiful, they're no good, or they will make relationships very difficult. And that in many, many instances are as far from the truth as the East is from the West, and even farther. I can say to you that, and this is no disrespect to anyone at all, this has to do with just my encounters. Now, if we were to go by the universal standards of beauty, where they look at the Eurocentric beauty or the Ethiopian-centric beauty, we consider that beautiful. Anything outside of that is non-beautiful in the minds or the eyes of many. So they have a standard of what beauty is, and you understand that. This is how we have been socialized, and this is what we see. I know we have this saying, it's a sort of fake humility when we say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, because you know if somebody's beautiful physically or not. And I can tell you in my own experiences and others I've heard with it, that quite a number of women who are not necessarily beautiful on the outside, they're also not beautiful on the inside, and they make horrible partners in their relationships with their husbands, with their boyfriends, and so on. They actually make horrible partners in the relationships. I'm not saying that you don't have women who are physically beautiful, but internally they're ugly, they're hideous, not to be beheld. Do not get me wrong, but I'm saying to you that it's a myth to believe that women who are beautiful, that they will give problems in relationships, or they have a personality defect and characteristic defect. Not necessarily true. I can tell you, even as beautiful women like myself, we have faced backlash on, without warrant, that women who will see us, if we're brilliant and we're beautiful, the vitriol that comes, the rancor that comes is unbelievable. You can't even say certain things, because the first thing some people are going to say, she feels she's all that, and she's not. You are not humble. And you hear these things and you're saying to yourselves, this is such an unfortunate situation, because of a mindset, a faulty mindset, a false mindset, that women who are brilliant and women who are beautiful, that they have to have some flaw, especially if they're single, and also on the basis of their beauty. God created beauty. The Bible talked about Esther, that she was a beautiful woman. Sarah was a beautiful woman. Rebecca was a beautiful woman. That's Isaac's wife. Jacob's wife, Rachel, was a beautiful woman. She was so beautiful that he decided to wait the 14 years after being duped, being tricked, by his own uncle. I mean, the same trickery that he did to his brother Esau followed him, and he got tricked and had to wait 14 years to get his beautiful bride, Rachel. So I'm just listing these people for you to understand that God himself created beauty. Beauty it's wonderful to behold. It is good to look at somebody who is beautiful and gorgeous and dazzling, you know what I mean, awe-inspiring, just seeing good-looking people. It is from God. The Bible talked about David, a man after God's own heart. He was a very handsome man. He was a very, very handsome man. And sometimes a lot of men who are very good looking, they have been demonized as well, to think that, oh, because he's good looking, he's going to run around with quite a number of women. Maybe the case in some, it has nothing to do with his good looks per se. It has to do with, maybe it's just how his testosterone levels are and him not controlling himself. Because men who are not necessarily good looking will fall in that same category of running around with quite a number of women. So some people say they will not date men who are good looking because they don't want to get bun from them. And let me tell you, the ugly one them will give bun same way too. The ugly one them will give you a bun same way, probably even more. You know what I mean? And ironically enough, what I've seen with some men who are handsome that I used to find very odd. This is just my little ad hoc, sort of observation. Let me put it that way. Men who are very handsome, sometimes I find that their insecurity levels are high. Like you wonder, they're super jealous. Super jealous. Yeah, man. That is what I will say with men who are very good looking, that they tend to be super jealous, and you wonder to yourself, really? This is just so unbelievable, but it just speaks to our humanness. It really has nothing to do with the outward appearance. Remember I had on a lovely dress and a lovely shoes, and I looked well groomed, and somebody said they saw the picture and said, Toni-Ann, you look so beautiful. I showed a friend, and it's not the first time hearing it, or the second or so. Saw them, the pretty women there, men know them. It's almost like you were saying that they're gonna cheat on you, or they're not gonna be loyal, they're not gonna be faithful, they're not gonna be committed. And I just shook my head and I said, such an unfortunate mindset to have. This is a fellow who may have possibly lost out on the best relationship, the best romantic, erotic, sexual, and I'm talking between a husband and a wife relationship that he could have had. I'm not talking with me, I'm talking generally speaking, because you have a mindset about how beautiful women are. Once they're beautiful, it means that they're put in this box. They automatically go into file 13, and that is a problem. That is a problem with many people today. We have to be very careful. Beautiful women, they undergo a lot of attacks by women who are not so beautiful. I can tell you that if you're beautiful and brilliant as a woman, and if you ever have fame and money to back that, oh my goodness, the things that they will say about you and try to do to you, it's unbelievable. Some of them, if they could just give their story, you would understand. But people are afraid to talk about that because it is so, who wants to get up and talk about superficial things? I mean, no, it is not superficial to be beautiful, meaning there's so much more serious and impending matters that we really should deal with than to come and talk about this. But this becomes serious because of the things that people do. Back in the day, some people would acid you if they know you're beautiful, just to destroy that beauty, to take away that beauty from you. Because of their jealousies and envies in malicious and malignant ways. So it's a facade, it's a flaw, it's mythical to think that because a woman is beautiful, it means she's flawed. And I'm not talking about us being imperfect as humans, that there's some character flaw or personality flaw. She's no good, she doesn't make good in relationships. Many times they are the best people for relationships. Remember, it says charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting. You're getting older, so that beautifully bright, brilliant look that you would have when you're young, it's not going to really be there when you're older. You will change. You will see that you could say, I can see that this woman was a beautiful woman when she was much younger. People will be able to say that. But I'm saying to you, do not be fooled by mythical sayings that go around that are not biblical, that are not founded. Yes, you will have women who are beautiful, who have some character and personality flaw, but also women who are not beautiful as well. Also women who are not beautiful as well. It has to just do with the individual, not so much the outward appearance. So get your beautiful woman today. Guys, you know what to do, TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe, be one of them lying there. Please, please, please.